Here in the United States, student debt has ballooned to more than $1 trillion. So how did we get here?
$1 trillion. University education, a right or an expensive luxury?
I've spent over $129,000 on my tuition.
States cut funding to colleges, shifting more of the cost to students and their families.
Those over 50 years old have the fastest growing student loan debt burden of any age group.
Other countries have tried to tackle this issue in other ways. In the UK, for example, tuition is capped. In Germany, tuition is free at public universities.
The U.S. Department of Education effectively became the largest commercial bank in America.
Imagine walking across the stage, diploma in hand, the culmination of years of hard work. But for many in America, this moment of triumph comes with a shadow. Thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, student debt. It's a weight that begins to suffocate before the ink is even dry on the degree. This is the reality for over 43 million Americans, carrying a collective burden that now exceeds over $1.7 trillion US.
Hello, my name is Stephen Cannavale. I'm a senior here at SUNY New Paltz. I'm from Long Island, New York, and I'm here pursuing a double major in digital media production and digital media management with a minor in communications. My motivation for creating this film stems from my personal journey to minimize student debt. Throughout my college experience, I aim to graduate with little to no debt, a goal to say that I'm proud to have achieved. However, I did face significant challenges along the way. My success is thanks to a combination of financial support, including the Excelsior Grant, Pell Grant, TAP, overall financial aid, and the RA waiver, along with my 3 jobs on campus. During the summer, on a trip to Europe, I encountered many peers who faced vastly different experiences with college expenses. And in this documentary, we will explore the disparities between student debt in the United States and abroad, examine the true cost of college, and discuss the degrees of debt one is willing to go through in order to succeed.
Julie and Josh, both 21-year-olds attending SUNY New Paltz, face similar challenges, particularly the burden of student debt.
My name is Juliana Lucas. I am 21 years old and I attend SUNY New Paltz.
My name is Josh Hahn Weiss. I'm from Port Jefferson Station, New York. I am 21 years old and I go to school at SUNY New Paltz.
Ryan Jones is the Associate Director of the Student Financial Services Department at SUNY New Paltz. He has worked in higher education for over 20 years and has his master's in higher education administration.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. How are you doing today?
Good.
Julie, a marketing major and ELP student, took out a loan during her freshman year and works 4 jobs to cover expenses. Do you value your education? And if yes, then why?
I do value my education since I'm able to learn more about myself and the skills that I have to offer to bring to the table.
Josh, who is a double major in finance and communication, also juggles 3 jobs while managing his debt. Do you value your education? If yes, then why?
Yes, I do value my education. It's really difficult to get into investment banking and corporate finance, those kind of sectors, without having like that prerequisite bachelor's and all those like soft skills, communication, interpersonal, so yes.
Are you required to take out student loans in order to attend university?
Yes.
I am required to take out student loans. I have the option and I have taken it out during my first year.
Tuition and fees in New Paltz is about $8,500 a year. The national average is about $10,000 a year for a public university. Some people aren't into higher education. They'd rather go into a trade or something like that.
Do you have any student debts to pay off after you finish?
Yes.
I do have a debt right now and I do have the option to pay it before I graduate, so that'll help me with the jobs that I do have to slowly pay that debt off.
So about 60% of our students graduate with student loan debt, and the average debt is about $25,000, $26,000.
Both Julie and Josh dedicate significant time to their studies, spending 10 to 15 hours per week on schoolwork, while also working nearly 20 hours per week. They share concerns about student debt and stress related to post-graduation employment. Do you have a job or jobs that you do to remain financially stable while studying at university?
Yes, so I have 4 jobs on campus, one of them being a resident advisor. I also work at the EOP front desk. I'm a social media intern. And lastly, I work at the library.
I work as a SRA. On campus is going to be my 5th semester as a resident advisor. And then I also work in the Athletic and Wellness Center as a curve monitor.
What is your major, and did student debt play a factor into your decision?
I'm a double major in finance and communication. Student debt did play a factor in being here for another year.
Financial aid significantly helps me a lot because it does give me TAP, the Pell Grant, and a part of the grant from EOP.
The more scholarships and grants and things you get, the less you'd have to borrow. There's other programs New York State offers too, like maybe about 12 different programs. TAPS was started in the mid-70s, and at the time it was the only program. I think it replaced a previous program. But since then, they've added about 20 programs to it.
How would you rate your stress levels with finding work post-graduation?
I'd say a 7.5 because I'm still so unsure. So I'm trying to get some hands-on experience to be able to work and then later progress to get my master's.
So I would say it's about a 4. I feel like that number is going to gradually start to ramp up as I get closer to graduation and as I really delve into the job market and see what's available to me.
Do you think that the United States is doing enough to tackle student debt?
I don't think the United States are doing enough to tackle debt because there are so many opportunities that aren't often used, and they should use it more for different people from different backgrounds and not raise the stakes too high to make it so competitive.
I don't think that we're doing enough to tackle student debt. Our current economic policies in regard to student debt are an improvement from what we've had in the past, but I don't think they're keeping up with increases in tuition and costs of being a college student.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate everything, and I'll catch you around.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you, Julie. All right, yay!
Yay!
Ellie and Jonathan, on the other hand, are international students who have different financial realities.
I am Ellie Smith. I am 21 years old and I go to Trinity College, Dublin. My major is computer science, and student debt did not play a factor into the major that I'm pursuing now.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Young. I am from Denmark and I go to the University of Aarhus. My major is French literature, culture and history. I know death was never a question.
Ellie has no student debt, a stark contrast to Julie and Josh. Although she works 3 jobs to support her living expenses, her overall financial burden is lighter. Are you required to take out student loans in order to attend university?
Me personally, no.
No, none.
A lot of Irish students don't need to pay for housing. I think that their parents probably mostly are paying for college because it's not as much as it would be in the US.
Do you have student debts to pay off after you finish university?
No, I don't.
I will not, no.
Jonathan experiences an even more relaxed financial situation and has no student debt or loans. His education is entirely state-supported, and he works only a few hours a week for personal expenses. You're paid to go to university, correct?
Yeah, we do. We have something called, in Danish, I don't know the translation, but it's called SU. Every student in Denmark above the age of 18 gets financial help from the state. It's basically paying for living.
Interesting. Very much not like that over here. I wish. How would you rate your stress level with finding work post-graduation?
7.5.
Not that stressful, because we in Denmark need French and German speakers, and since I'm learning French, it shouldn't be that big of a hassle.
Both Ellie and Jonathan live off campus, where rent is significantly lower than what the students would pay in the US, and both expresses frustration in the US's approach to student debt. Do you feel that college would be more expensive if you were in the States versus you being in Ireland?
1,000%, yes. I think college is a lot more expensive in the States, and I definitely would have to take out some sort of loan if I was in the States. A lot of Irish students don't need to pay for housing, so that's not really an expense they worry about because they can usually just live at home.
Do you think the US or Ireland is doing enough to tackle student debt?
Ireland doesn't really have that much student debt as far as I'm aware. I don't think the US is really doing good to help combat student debt at all.
I think the US is, pardon me, rather stupid. I'm scared that for the future it's going to be worse. The fact that you as a student need to basically earn as much as an adult just to get studies. I know the military is quite a big deal, and then I was thinking maybe prioritizing internal struggles could be a good way to better the country. That's just what I think. But I also know that it comes from this perspective of someone who is borderline the opposite. Like, I pay a lot of taxes and therefore I don't pay for school, for example.
Overall, while all 4 students are working hard and are invested in their education, their experiences differ based on their financial circumstances, national education systems, and post-graduation outlooks. Julie and Josh grapple with debt and the challenges of financing their education in the US, while Ellie and Jonathan benefit from more affordable or even free education, reducing their financial stress. For students like Josh and Julie, education is not just a path to opportunity, it's a financial gamble. They work day and night, balancing classes, jobs, and the anxiety of what debt they owe. Every decision is influenced by it. What major they choose, where to live, even where to start a family. The dream of a college degree has turned into a financial trap for many.
How can it be that in one of the wealthiest nations on earth, education comes with such a devastating cost? In America, the weight of student debt crushes dreams, dashes ambitions, and forces young people into a cycle of financial dependency. Overseas, education is seen as a right, a public investment in the future of a nation. It's a tale of 2 worlds, one where higher education opens doors, and another where it builds walls of debt. As student debt in America climbs past $1.7 trillion, the questions still remain. How long will America let its future generations suffer under this burden, while the rest of the world has already found a better way? Why is education so expensive in America? And how do students around the world who attend equally prestigious institutions manage to do it debt-free? Thank you.